Hello everyone and welcome to Bronte Mania. In this video I'm going to be introducing my new published novel, Anne Brontë, A Testament of My Life, Volume 1. This is the first volume of 2, the second one I'm currently editing, and I'm going to use this video to sort of introduce you to the early stages of the first volume. But before I get started on that, if you like the content of this video and my other videos I've put out on this channel, don't forget to click the subscribe button at the bottom of the screen, and also if you want to give it a thumbs up if you like the video, and also click the notification bell to receive all the notifications when you subscribe. I would quite like also if you could add some comments down below the video to say what it is you like about the video, and anything else you'd like to tell me about. So now I'll go straight ahead with this video. It's going to be a bit different to my other videos because I've brought in a few extra pretty cool effects, I think, to add something special to these videos, so I'm going to be introducing that today as well. So let me get started straight away and introduce you to the woman herself, the inspiration of this whole book, who's of course Anne Brontë. Here she is here, appearing to my side as the excellent Anne Brontë there. And so now I'll start this reading. This is the start of chapter 4. As I start this reading, bear in mind I'm speaking in the voice of Anne Brontë throughout, so whenever I say I, it is actually Anne Brontë herself. And also in this opening scene, Anne Brontë is being led around the school by the gatekeeper who let her into the school when she arrived. So that's who she's speaking to as we go into it. Do you happen to know what my first lesson will be? I inquired as we set off at a steady pace. I believe it is history, miss. Good, I like history. Hopefully it will make for a good start to my time here. I'm sure it will. A short time later we arrived at a door. I could hear sounds of a lesson taking place behind it. My companion knocked at the door, and a middle-aged woman with a pleasing countenance answered. Hello, ma'am, my companion said. This is the new pupil who has just arrived. She is to take your lesson. Her name is Anne Brontë, the teacher was quick to assert. Yes, I've been filled in, Mr. Gaffney. Thank you for your trouble. You may go about your business. As you please, ma'am. He retreated with a nod for the teacher and a wink for myself, to which I could not refrain from offering up a smile. He had done his job well in taking me into my new surroundings. Now I had to take my place in my first class and learn what I may. A new teacher introduced herself to me as Miss Harlow, but she had no need to. I knew already from the subject she taught that this was her appellation. Charlotte had told me all about her, as you may recall. She was the one who my sister counted as the best teacher in the school. This is most assuredly a propitious way to start. Miss Harlow showed me into the room and introduced me to my new classmates, to which I received a polite murmur of welcome. I was soon directed to a vacant chair near the rear of the class. As I sat down, the girl to my right preferred me with a singular smile. I think I'll always remember that smile. There was so much warmth behind it. I was given the instant impression, indeed, that I would form a pleasant association with this pupil throughout my time at Roe Head. I cannot precisely say why I was given this impression. There was simply something about the girl which boded well in my heart. I quickly warmed to her, even if at that stage I did not know her. I soon found out that I shared a passion for historical matters with this girl. I discovered her name was Violet as a teacher addressed her, but moments later asking her a question to which she gave a correct answer. The first lesson proved to be as enjoyable as I imagined it would be once I knew the subject I would be learning. History had always been a secret passion of mine. I loved to read stories of days gone by, of important figures from bygone eras, famous battles fought and the different civilizations which had sprung up throughout the ages. Unfortunately, The lateness of my arrival at the school decreed I had already missed the first half of the lesson. However, this only whetted my appetite for my next history lesson, which would take place the following afternoon. At the end of the class, a bell tolled. I was puzzled as to what this could mean until Violet informed me it denoted one of the leisure breaks had arrived. "We have 20 minutes to relax away from our studies," she explained. "We have quite a large schoolyard. Did you see it when you arrived?" "No," I told her. "I believe it must be on the other side of the building from the main entrance." "Oh yes, of course." Violet shook her head forcefully as if she had just committed a calamitous error. "How stupid of me. You must think me a prize dunce." "No, not at all," I assured her. I soon found the more I talked to this girl, the more I liked her. There was a good-natured feeling about her which I found very pleasing. Also, she had lost no time in putting me at my ease. She must have known I would be nervous on my first day at a new school, surrounded by strangers, but she had been able to bring comfort to me when I needed it. I was especially grateful for this, happy too that I had come across such a friendly creature so soon after my arrival. "You are too kind," Violet said as we made our way out of the schoolroom and along a passageway with the other pupils. "I believe, however, you are a kindly soul. I noticed that about you as soon as you took your seat in class." I found this remark rather puzzling. "But how could you know something like that about me when I am a stranger to you?" I asked with sincere earnestness. Violet shrugged. "I cannot say for sure. All I know is I am rarely wrong about my feelings towards a person who I have just met. I am known for possessing this ability within my own family. I believe I was born with the gift, and it has acted on me like a charm for a very young age." I smiled at these words. "A gift for understanding a person's character from the first." And I shared a spiritual connection with Emily when we were apart. Both cases could be described as curious, so maybe there was a similarity between us which had worked to draw us together. This was certainly something to ponder over, but not at the moment. Instead, I wished to learn more about this unusual girl. "Do your family live very far away?" I asked her. "About 60 miles away." "That is quite a distance." "Yes, it is. But this was the best school they could find for me, so they sent me here. I'm glad they did. It's a well-run school with good teachers, and there's plenty of room to move around in." I smiled again at this. "I'm not too sure about the last of those commendations. The dormitory in which we sleep appears rather cramped." "Oh, you will soon get used to that," Violet was quick to assure me. "It is only when one first arrives here that it can seem daunting. You're perhaps worried about lying next to strangers, but don't be. I have made arrangements with the girl who has a bed next to me. She agreed to switch places with the new girl if I wished it. I said I would if I liked the new girl, and now I do. We can be bedmates. That is if you are agreeable." "Of course, nothing would make me happier. I feel like we are already good friends." "Yes, that is my view on the matter too. I told you I could spot a good person when I saw one." "Oh, but didn't you mean to infer you could understand a person's character almost at first glance? You never mentioned a person's goodness." "Did I not?" "Well, that is what I meant. Besides, why would I bother with anyone I did not like as soon as I met them?" "No, I suppose you wouldn't," I agreed. There was so much good sense in this girl, and I believed I could learn much from her. We then stepped out through a side door into the open air. Happily, the bleakness of the early morning had passed away, and we could now enjoy some pleasant sunshine. It felt good to have a warm sun on our backs, as we sat down on a wall overlooking a play area where a number of our fellow pupils were taking part in a game. "So," said Violet, "I've told you something about my family, at least where they live, but you have told me nothing of yours. Please share." "Of course, my family live in the village of Haworth, which is around 3 hours away by carriage. My father is a church minister in the village, and I have a sister at the school who took up a teaching position a few months ago." "Is that so? What is her name?" "Charlotte. I'm not sure what age group she is teaching, but it'll be one of the youngest set. New teachers are always given the youngest ones to teach. I think the powers that be think it is best to start new teachers with the most junior pupils because they will find them easiest to manage. It is my experience that the younger the pupil, the more prone to mischief she may turn out to be." I don't know what there was in this remark that struck me so forcefully, but it stayed with me from then until I took up my first governess position many years thereafter. I would come to realise how astute Violet had been in her reasoning. I'd always thought young pupils would be easy to teach, that more work could be got out of them than their older counterparts, and that generally speaking it would be the height of enjoyment to impart knowledge to them. I would come to see, however, that this was a great mistake. I'd have to learn this lesson the hard way through painful effort, which would fill me up with frustration until my blood almost boiled over. As I say, it would be some years until I would learn about this. Till then I would have to exist in a world of fairy tales, until reality stepped in to destroy all my illusions. Well, I said as I watched our classmates at play, it appears some of our class are busy in mischief as we speak. Where do they get their energy? Difficult to say. I'm not one for stimulating exercise myself. Much prefer sitting here with you and enjoying an amiable conversation. You find our talk entertaining then? Yes, I'm certainly interested to learn more about my new friend. How was your journey here? Not that agreeable, I'm afraid to say. It was long and tiresome. To speak honestly, I could not wait until I arrived so I could start my lessons and feel that I was at last a fully fledged schoolgirl. At last? This time it was Violet's turn to act surprised at a comment of mine. Surely this is not your first time at school. It is, but you must be all of 15, and you've never been to school, not ever. That is right, I can understand why you'd be shocked at this. But I have had a somewhat unusual upbringing. I do not think you would believe half of it if I told you. Well, why don't we put that theory to the test? Tell me more, please. I smiled at Violet's keen interest in my early years. I had never come across anyone who was so earnest in her inquisitive nature. It was as if I was a rare species who was threatened by extinction, as if I had arrived from a faraway island and was comporting myself in a style she had never come across before. Perhaps in a way I had. After all, I had been writing for so long about my Gondol and Galdine storylines that I had almost begun to think I belonged in those far-distant islands, even if they did not exist in reality, but only in my imagination and in Emily's. Very well, I told her.